I really like how I look today. Oh, she's cute. Once in a while, we have to, hype ourselves up so we can do this. And especially in this world. Soy Mexicana, we got this. It is March, and it is time to sew our next project. We are going to sew another simplicity pattern. This is going to be the 1940s reproduction pajama set. Let me show you the fabric, which is a very lovely, silky, I don't think it's silk. It could be crepe, maybe. Not sure. I got this fabric at an estate sale. So let's get started. Okay, we gotta match our thread first. So, like always, let's bring out my beautiful kit. We are going to start on the blouse first. So let's do this. Wait. I haven't done the dart or any kind of marking yet. So let's do that first. Step number 1, we are going to stay stitch in the neck so it doesn't stretch. No. Hi. Ugh. Not only did I have to change the needle size smaller, but I also had to rethread the machine, which I didn't notice, so definitely check that before you start sewing. There's so much joy in sewing, but there's also so much stress sometimes. Let's go back to this. Okay, so now it's telling me to finish the shoulder and front edges, so the front. It's telling me that we need to gather these little portions, and we are going to attach it to the yoke, which is number 4. Do you see the mess? This is how I sew, okay? I'm a mess. I'm a messy sewer. That's why I keep all my sewing pattern pieces till I'm ready to sew them. Let's sew this together. When we do gathers, we do 2 stitches. That's how I learned. And have I mentioned this before? I did go to Trade Tech Community College and I majored in fashion design. I took several classes. So this is what I learned back in many moons ago. So take what you can when you're sewing these garments. But for me, I like to do 2 stitches as I was taught. So I don't know if you could say, and then what I like to do is grab them both and pull. Do I need to do it on the yoke too? No, I don't. The gathering just needs to fit here. Right sides together, matching the notches. Okay, so my camera ran out of battery, so I didn't get to document half of what I've already done. I am currently sewing the pocket. It's a square, so corners, so I'm gonna do that. I already sew the collar. I love it when things start getting together. I have already attached the yoke completely, so we have the back of the blouse. So let's continue. Okay, so I'm kind of seeing that it looks crooked. Oh no, that looks kind of crooked there. And switch, so we've done 10, 11, 12, got it. Now let's go ahead and do, I'm telling you, some of these. Like I said, sometimes these instructions do not make any sense, but from what I see on here, let me show you guys. So I'm going to start from here, sew to the middle, then from here, and then sew to the middle. The stitch higher, because this is just a stay stitch. Go back to regular stitch. Now with the right sides together, let's go ahead and stitch. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and work on the collar, pin it in place, and just sew. Oh yeah, by the way, I changed to more comfortable clothes. I just got a little tired, so. Turn front and neck edges to outside, meaning the right side, so we can do the self-facing base and neck. Okay. Okay, like this. It looks like the photo. Okay, so that's the base. There's a piece that goes here, and I haven't found it yet, which I think it's going to be the contrast. I'm going to go find it, sew it in there, and be right back. Now we don't want to look at the inside because the inside is a little Mickey Mouse, a little off, so it's okay. It's just for sleeping. But now I know for next time. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the side seams on both sides, and then I will start installing the sleeve. We are going to gather the top portion of the sleeve. We're going to go ahead and again do 2 rows so I can gather the top. I don't think it's gathering, I think it's more of an ease. So okay, I got the 2 stitches. Now it's telling me to put right sides together and sew the sides till the marking here. Son of a French. I sewed it the large stitch. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. I just sew it at a regular stitch because it's gonna fall apart. So I'm gonna do that again and iron it and do the second sleeve. Okay, day 2, and let's try to advance on this project. So I have already sewn the sleeves. Keep forgetting what you call this when you pick shears, something along those lines. The side seams. I sometimes do like to try things on just so I can get excited. Let's continue on this. I like to pin everything that I could sew in one go. Son of a did it wrong. I don't know where my head is sometimes when I'm sewing. Let me undo this. I always have this issue where, like, you know, you're doing a waistband or you're doing any cuffs and you sew the edge seam here and then you don't catch the folding edge. And I'm also doing one just so I could test it out, and then we'll do the other one. The inside is not as pretty. So on to the next one. I used to think sleeves were kind of hard, but that's not. It's just taking your time. Don't forget, it's always much easier when you follow your notches. Match your side seam to the side on your sleeve. I always like to gather as much as I can, and then once I have most of it pinned, then I start releasing the tension. So I can try to evenly undo it. But if you guys have a better way to do this, please let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and pin it to the sleeve, and I'll show you guys. Pinned, and we are sewing. I normally don't like to make blouses as much just because I feel like there's so many steps into a blouse. Here I am. I don't like doing sleeves. Alright, let me do the other one. I was gonna do cover-ups, but I think buttons would just feel much better on this. So let's go ahead and pick something out. These have all been purchased at estate sales, thrift stores, you name it. We want either pink or white, maybe even clear. And what about green? Maybe purple? Oh my god, what about these? After all those beautiful colors, I think I'm gonna do the white. Okay, so it's time to place the buttons. I always get confused as to where the buttons and the buttonhole should be at, but I'm gonna follow the instructions and I'm gonna follow the photo here. I'm also, you know what, let me check on a shirt. Hold on. All right, just like the photo in the instructions, the buttons are on this side and the buttonhole on my left. I normally like to eyeball where the buttons are going to go at, but you know, let me use this guide and see what the fuss is all about. Well, there was no fuss because I didn't end up using the template. I ended up making my own markings. Okay, I am done with my blouse. But now it's time to work on the pants, and I think the pants are going to be really quick, so I'm hoping that I am done today and I can try on tomorrow. Day número 3.
The reason why I didn't finish yesterday is because the instructions were telling me to do some sort of lap or the buttons on the pants, and that made me freak out a little. So I didn't want to attempt it with sleepy eyes, foggy brain, because it was already late. We're going to try to see if we can do this. I'm going to see if I can find this tutorial somewhere online. I did not find any video online that could help me achieve this. I'm going to base stitch based on what I think this might be. It makes sense that I would sew it straight, right? And then this will be sewn this way, and I will hand stitch that. Let's just pin it. So I would hand stitch this. It makes sense to me. We'll do the same thing here. This will go this way, this over it, hand stitch that. Tell me it looks like the photo, you guys, because I am just losing it. So to see this little photo, I'm following that. That looks like that, and then we open it. That's the only thing that's making sense. Oh, should I just sew it? I don't know. I feel it in my gut that I think that's how it's gonna be, so I'm gonna sew it. Not base stitch it. I'm just gonna sew the entire thing. It just makes sense. Wish me good luck. It's sewn. Now I'm gonna hand stitch this. Right here, it's telling me to sew this little section. That little section is this little section. So I'm gonna fold it over and stitch across. And then I'm gonna take it to the iron and press it down. This little corner to sew it angled wise. Okay, let me sew it. Hey, let me show you guys. Look at that. This is the opening. There you go. Managed to figure it out. Now I'm done with that, so I am going to work on the waistband. And this is the final look. I am so happy with it. I love how it came out. It is exactly what I thought. Silky, soft, very comfortable. Love how the sleeves came out. Did add my little snaps on here. I like how it's high-waisted, very comfortable. Let's talk about this snap right here. This looks great. It's laying flat, but up here, that's where the problem lays. And maybe one of these had to come out and stay out, but adding the snap here allowed it to not open up. I don't know if any other vintage sewist out there can give me some advice on that. Pleats here, they were supposed to go inward. So that was one thing I did incorrectly. Another thing I did incorrectly, this opening had to be on this side. But other than that, I love it. And that was it. What do you guys think? The entire project came out as I thought it would. It took me 3 days to complete. A blouse like this always has so many pieces, and it does take a little longer. Pants are always easy except for that little section. I think I will make this top again in a different fabric so I can wear it out. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hasta la próxima.